Humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dear Amma. Good morning. My name is Hendrila Henry, and I'd like to welcome everyone who has taken their time to join us for the very first online undergraduate medical conference of Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences, Kochi. That is PASHT 3.0. I'd like to ask the medical director, the principal, and all the other dignitaries present here to inaugurate this occasion with a lamp lighting ceremony. The year 2020 is going to go down in history as a year of uncertainty, sadness, all around a year of havoc caused by the novel coronavirus. So, we, the undergraduate students at AIMS Kochi, under the guidance of Dr. Colonel Vishal Marwaha sir, were determined to put out a wholly virtual but entirely functional medical conference with exceptional quality and speakers of high caliber from all over the country, nay, all over the world. Vital to the functioning of the conference were the undergraduates of AIMS Kochi. Heading these group of soldiers were the organizing secretaries Mr. Shrikant Shyamkumar and Ms. Anuja Jain of the 2017 MBBS batch. They have toiled day and night in these trying times whilst being virtually connected to let this conference come to life. And finally, the day has arrived. I'd like to welcome Shrikant Shyamkumar, alumnus of Chinmaya School, Kochi, to deliver the welcome address.
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Chancellor Amma. Good morning to one and all. It was exactly 2 months and 4 days ago when a few of us had the idea for conducting Spasht. To be honest, we were a little skeptical due to the current unfortunate situation around the world. But soon we were reassured and encouraged by our principal, Dr. Colonel Vishal Marwa. We quickly formed an organizing committee consisting of the brightest minds and the bravest souls from the 2017 and the 2018 batches. Hundreds of WhatsApp messages, Zoom calls, and emergency meetings later, we had the basic idea of how we were going to conduct Spasht 2020. This year, we experienced a pandemic that threatened to erode the social fabric of our community. It has disrupted our daily routine and caused huge difficulties for everybody. Keeping this in mind, we knew conducting the third edition of Spasht would not be an easy task. We faced new hurdles as the whole event would be conducted through an online platform. We had to improvise, adapt, and overcome these challenges to ensure that we raised the bar set by Spasht 2019. This year, we have expanded Spasht by incorporating non-academic events along with the academic ones. We are providing a platform for all medical students to showcase their virtuosity and prowess in these non-academic fields. Shutterdock, the photography competition, Art Attack for poster making, Feet of Fire, the dance competition, along with essay writing, mask designing, meme making, and 60-second talent are a few of the non-scholastic highlights of this year. Splash 2020 is also filled with academic events like quiz competitions, debates, case presentations, and a model WHO summit. We have interactive workshops in emergency medicine, pharmacology, toxicology, psychiatry, pathology, research methodology, and communication skills, which are brought to you by the best academicians from around the world. Spasht brings together the best of the best from around the globe in their different fields to share their knowledge and wisdom in our many panel discussions. We cover a wide range of topics ranging from leadership to career options after MBBS, all of which are aimed to benefit the student. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our esteemed guests for today. Firstly, I would like to welcome Sampurna Swami Purnamritanandapuri, who will bless us with a message for this occasion. I would like to welcome our chief guest, Surgeon Rear Admiral Aarti Sarin, who is the Command Medical Officer at the Southern Naval Command Kochi, who has taken time off a busy schedule and agreed to join us today. I welcome Dr. Prem Nair, the Medical Director of Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences, Kochi, who is presiding at the inaugural function. We are grateful to Sir for finding the time and agreeing to join us today. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Colonel Vishal Marwa, the Principal of Amrita School of Medicine, Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences, Kochi. Sir has been the heart and soul of Spasht, and saying that Spasht 2020 would not be here without him is an understatement. I welcome Dr. M.G.K. Pillai, Head of the Department of Internal Medicine, and Dr. Pradeep Jacob, head of the Department of General Surgery, and I thank them for accepting our invitation and agreeing to offer felicitations. I also take this opportunity to welcome all our distinguished panelists from all over the world to our conference. Last but definitely not the least, I welcome all the delegates from around India and the world to the third edition of Amrita's annual National Undergraduate Medical Summit, SPASH 2020.
Thank you, Shrikant. Your work has been lauded by students and faculty alike. To bless this auspicious occasion, Sampurna Swami Purnamritananda Puri will be delivering a video message. Swami Purnamritananda Puri, a senior renunciate disciple of our beloved Amma, Swamiji is General Secretary of the world-renowned organization Mata Amritanandamai Mutt. For the past 30 years, he has been relentlessly engaged in the very noble, spiritual, and humanitarian activities of the Mutt that Amma envisioned. He is an engineering graduate who's also worked as the research scientist at the prestigious Raman Research Institute in Bangalore, and his work focused on solar radiation. Swamiji met Amma when he was on his quest for the secret of life and has been a devout disciple since. He has traveled all over the world conducting spiritual and personality development camps with an aim to bring about spiritual upliftment of individuals and entire societies. Through his soothing flute meditation and devotional singing, Swamiji reaches out to people of all ages, guiding them to remain focused on the transformative journey that is spirituality. And now, Swamiji will deliver his pre-recorded video message.
Om Amadeshwarya Namaha. My pronouns to all my divine sisters and brothers. I feel very blessed to get a chance to speak to such a dedicated group of people who are ready to serve humanity. Welcoming all of you to Amarta family. As you all know, the whole world is going through a great crisis now. For so many months, all kinds of activities in the world have been suspended. All because of a tiny virus, a creature so small that we can't even see it, an invisible microbe. From this, we must understand that nature is teaching human being a lesson. It is nature's blow to human ego, because we see that only human life has been affected. Anyway, Mother Amadandamayi Devi says, sometimes we cannot change the outer circumstances of life, but we can decide how we must respond to them. We can decide the nature and quality of our response. We can respond positively or we can respond negatively. If you respond negatively, nothing can be achieved. But if our response is positive, we can improve the quality of our life, both inner and outer life. Thus, we can make our life beautiful. The choice is ours. It is true that the crisis that the world is facing now is very serious, but life has to continue. Not only that, life must be enjoyable and meaningful also. We must make it enjoyable and meaningful. We must make it beautiful. Only we can do it. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. It is impossible to remove all problems of life, but we can be unaffected by it and convert it into a blessings. We need to learn the art of converting the warfield of life into a playground. For that, we need to realize the secret behind this divine illusion. We must maintain our cheerful spirit always by doing whatever positive and creative work we can. I'm happy to say that you have decided to use your time fruitfully. As medical students, you have proved that you have great focus and sense of purpose even in the time of such a great crisis. You have decided that all activities, both curricular and co-curricular, and even extracurricular cultural activities must continue. That's why you thought of organizing this year also in the form of virtual program. It is a great achievement that the participants are from all over India. It is my pleasure to welcome all these young and fresh minds to our program. I sincerely hope that all of you will feel that the program is not only interesting but also enriching. Each and every person who has worked hard to organize such a wonderful event deserves special congratulations. Nothing must discourage you from going forward with your studies, especially because you are all aspiring doctors. Doctor's life is a life of sacrifice. As doctors, you will get a realistic picture of the world and human life. Every day you can see different kinds of people in different conditions. It is constantly remind you of the value of human life. It can inspire you to dedicate your life to the service of humanity. Amma says that service to mankind is service to God. Serving humanity will become a spiritual practice. If it is done with the right attitude of selflessness. Nowadays, the field of medicine is becoming more and more dependent on technology, not only for studies and research, but even for treatment and cure. Today's world is a world of science and technology. Every day, new technical information is produced. So there is no time to rest. Always there is a great intellectual pressure. And also a number of patients is increasing because of various reasons, especially unhealthy lifestyle. So very often, doctors get no time to relax at all. Only human beings with heart will be able to serve society with the knowledge stored in their heads. So in that way, this program contains a variety of events, sessions by experts, competitions, performance, and many other things like that. I think all this will make the program very colorful and inspiring. Human effort alone will not be enough to succeed in life. God's grace is needed. Only God's grace can complete all our actions. So, we will pray to Amma for her blessings to all of us and to this program. Amma will be very happy that all of you students, faculty and other staff join together to organize such a wonderful program. Om Namah Shivaya.
As Swamiji said rightly, We have a positive way of reacting to nature's influence. And I'd like to say he captured the very essence of what Spasht is indeed. All that Spasht is, was, and will be would have never been possible without our dear principal, Dr. Colonel Vishal Malvaha. He did his MBBS and MD in general medicine from the Armed Forces Medical College in Pune. He completed his DNB in internal medicine, long term postdoctoral fellowship in rheumatology from AIMS Delhi, his short term fellowship in City Hospital and Queen's Hospital, Nottingham. He has even served in the Indian Army for 28 years as a true patriot. Sir's father, elder brother, and four of his uncles has served in the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force. He had headed the Indo-Bhutan Friendship Hospital in Thimphu, Bhutan early on in his career. He served in 4 rheumatology centers in the armed forces. Other accolades to his name include the prestigious Chief of Army Staff Commendation Award in 2012, the Army Commander Commendation Award twice in 2008 and 2010 for meritorious service. He then joined Medical Amrita School of Medicine in 2016 as HOD of the Department of Rheumatology and has been serving as principal of Amrita School of Medicine since May 2017. His resume is rich and plentiful, but as he efficiently juggles his professional career, he never fails to inspire us to reach out for our dreams. I'd like to welcome you, sir, to speak a few words on this auspicious day.
Om Amriteshwaraya Namaha. Humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dear Sadhguru Mata Amritanandamayi Devi. On behalf of our medical director, Dr. Prem Nair, it is my proud privilege to welcome you all to the third edition of SPASH 2020. It started in 2018 with Dr. A. Ajay and Dr. Gayatri Kashyap of 2013 MBBS batch taking the lead in organizing the SPASH first edition. They were ably supported by all Amritians. Presently, both are doing their MD anesthesia in CMC Vellore and IGMC Shimla, respectively. In the second edition, Sibi Raj and Anaga Gopalakrishnan of 2016 batch took the lead. Both the updates went off amazingly well. This year, the COVID pandemic was a dampener, but the proud and dynamic Amritians took on the charge in a difficult and challenging situation. Shrikant, Anuja, Ashwin, Gauri, John Joseph, Hendrella, Arindam, Karan, Kishan, and the 2017 batch, guided by the 15 and 16 batch and supported by the 18 and 19 batch, and all the members of the Amrita family have come together for SPASH 2020. I sincerely hope you all enjoy the deliberations. We have attempted to bring forth important and relevant panel discussions. The workshops in different fields and other programs are likely to strike a chord with all. A special emphasis was made to sensitize students to leadership challenges. An effort has been made to seek the opinion of leaders in medicine in India and abroad to look at the path ahead. We are grateful to our Sadguru and Chancellor Mata Amritanandamayi Devi. She is the world-renowned philanthropic head of the very large Amrita family with disciples all over the world. Her compassion and love for mankind are for all of us to see and feel. We seek her grace and blessings for this conference first. The benedictory message was given by Sampujya Swami Purnamritananda Puri, the General Secretary of the Mata Amritanandamayi Mutt. He is very compassionate and loving person. We have always benefited with his love and compassion. He spreads Amma's teachings all over the world, and we are blessed by his presence amidst us. The chief guest for the day is Surgeon Rear Admiral Aarti Sareen, an alumnus of Timpani School, Vishakhapatnam, graduated from the prestigious Armed Forces Medical College, Pune. She was commissioned into the Armed Forces Medical Services in December 1985. She has the distinction of completing two postgraduate degrees, MD Radiology from AFMC and DNB Radiation Oncology from Tata Memorial Hospital, Mumbai. She has also received training in gamma knife surgery at University of Pittsburgh, USA. In a long naval career, she has done tenures at Naval Dockyard, Mumbai, NSTL Vishakhapatnam, and served in naval hospitals INHS Aswini, Dhanvantri, Port Blair, Kalyani, Vishakhapatnam, Sanjeevani, and Kochi. She has served as professor and head of department radiation oncology at Army Hospital R&R Delhi, Command Hospital AFMC Pune, and INHS Aswini. She is an examiner and recognized teacher at various universities. She has several medical publications to her credit. She has taken over as Command Medical Officer, Southern Naval Command, Kochi on 16 June 2020 in the rank of Surgeon Rear Admiral. She comes from a family of 5 naval officers. She is married to Surgeon Rear Admiral C.S. Naidu Vishish Seva Medal, who is an alumnus of Hyderabad Public School and AFMC Pune. You all will be happy to learn that Surgeon Rear Admiral Naidu was guest of honor for the valedictory function of SPASH 2019 last year, and his support to us was remarkable. We welcome you, ma'am, and thank you for agreeing to enlighten the young minds. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. Prem Nair, Medical Director of AIIMS Kochi, a visionary leader and academician. He has guided the AIIMS to attain glory and reach heights in a very limited time frame. It is to his credit that under his leadership, the Amrita schools of medicine, pharmacy, and dentistry have come within the first 15 ranks in NIRF ranking in India. Amrita School of Medicine was ranked 5th and 7th respectively in the years 19 and 20. He is a graduate from Bombay University, did his internal medicine from Albert Einstein Medical College, New York. Later, he did gastroenterology from the School of Medicine, Southern California. Subsequently, he has also done a fellowship in hepatology from School of Medicine, Southern California. He had a distinguished career in gastroenterology and hepatology in USA for over a decade, and then he moved to AIIMS. He was the medical consultant and project coordinator of Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences from 94 to 98 and saw the raising of the institute. Since 1998, he is the medical director of AIIMS Kochi. Dr. Prem Nair holds the office of the President of Healthcare Providers India and has played a major role in evolution of telemedicine in India. His contribution to outreach activities in Kerala floods and other flood reliefs and other disaster situations in India have been noteworthy. I personally had the experience of working under him in the Kerala floods 2018. He is the leading light for SPASH. We welcome you, sir. Next, I welcome Dr. M.G.K. Pillai, HOD of Department of Internal Medicine at AIIMS Kochi, a clinician par excellence, a very humble and popular teacher. He did his BSc Zoology from Fatima Mata College, Kollam, graduated from TD Medical College, Alleppey, and did MD in Medicine from JJMMC, Davangere, Karnataka. He had a short stint with Medical College, Alleppey, and SUT Hospital, Trivandrum. Since 2002, he has been at AIIMS Amrita School of Medicine, AIIMS Kochi, and became the head of the department in 2015. He has tremendous academic achievements. He has significant publications and is a recognized examiner in many universities in India. He has always been a pillar of support to the students and has also been the CRRI coordinator for the interns. We welcome you, sir. I welcome Dr. Pradeep Jacob, head of the Department of General Surgery at Amrita School of Medicine, AIIMS Kochi. A very competent surgeon and academician, did his MBBS and MS General Surgery from Government Medical College, Kottayam. He has been at AIIMS since 2002. He has many publications to his credit, especially in thyroid surgery. His area of interest is thyroid surgery. He is the IQAC coordinator for the Amrita School of Medicine. We welcome you, sir. I extend my welcome to students Srikant, Anuja, Ashwin, Hendrella, the Master of Ceremony for the day, Gauri, John Joseph, and all the students of Amrita School of Medicine. I welcome all the faculty, students, and staff of Amrita School of Medicine and all medical colleges attending this function from all over the world. I extend greetings from Amrita School of Medicine AIIMS to all our overseas faculty and Indian faculty and well-wishers, alumni who have taken their valuable time to attend this function. We all may be separated by physical distance, but our hearts are close to each other. During this COVID pandemic, we spare a few thoughts for all our COVID warriors. We have lost many of our brothers and sisters in India and the world during this pandemic. We pray this pandemic ends soon and life normalizes. I end with a quote by our beloved Amma. When difficult circumstances arise in our life, don't run away in fear. Rather, kindle the love within and try to overcome them. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Wise words as always. On this beautiful day, we count our blessings as we have an extremely respected guest, Dr. Prem Kumar Vasudevan Nair. To say that he is gifted would be an understatement. With an affluent medical background both in India and the United States, he continues to excel in the field of gastroenterology while serving as the medical director here at AIIMS Kochi. He is also part of the governing body of the Association of Healthcare Providers in India. He also served as a consulting gastroenterologist at the California Medical Center, Huntington Memorial Hospital, and orthopedic hospitals, all based in California. He was also the director of the Los Angeles Gastroenterology Association and the chairman division of gastroenterology in the Hospital of Good Samaritan in LA, California. He has been certified by the Diplomat American Board of Internal Medicine. Sir, I would like to welcome you to deliver the presidential address.
Om Amiteshwariya Namaha. Sampujya Swami Purnamritananda, Chief Guest, Surgeon Rear Admiral R.C. Serene, our Principal, Dr. Vishal Marwa, distinguished faculty, staff, students, and most importantly, a large participating delegate group throughout India. Let me really, most importantly, let me congratulate all of the students, the faculty who have been very enthusiastically preparing and putting together a very fine program. In spite of the COVID pandemic, you managed to ensure the continuity of the SPASHT program. And it's really creditable, and we're very deeply indebted to the group for ensuring that such a fine program continues. We are going through a difficult time, particularly in Kerala, owing to the rapid surge in COVID infection. But nonetheless, as you can see, I just want to give you a little bit of history here. We are one of the earliest adopters of telemedicine. And this is one of the earliest structures that you see here, is a tele-education suite, which was through the government of India. And we were the first to initiate this tele-education program for Central Africa through the Telecommunications India, which is a Government of India undertaking. During the early days, the adoption of telemedicine was very sluggish. We didn't really get the faculty to catch fire as far as telemedicine is concerned. But one of the few advantages of COVID pandemic is that telemedicine has now taken off like a rocket. And it has become one of the major methods by which we can secure the adequate distancing to prevent COVID transmission. So ever since the onset of the COVID pandemic, there's been a huge demand for telemedicine services, not only by the faculty, but also by the patients, and it avoids unnecessary contact with the dreaded virus. So we are very thrilled that telemedicine has finally reached a stage that it can really make a huge impact in our communities. So we do hope that we have adequate representation of telemedicine, particularly by the young faculty, by the medical students, by students in allied health sciences. They need to come forward and further the cause of telemedicine, which has the potential not only in a pandemic situation, which just happens to be there, but also helps in reducing the cost of healthcare, improving the quality and timeliness of healthcare, and substantially helps in tele-educational component, which today, because of the development in technology in various areas of digital health, such as artificial intelligence, artificial superintelligence, machine learning, genomics, and all of these areas needs to come. We need to bring all this technology into telemedicine so that it can really serve as a major tool for healthcare, not only on the service side, but also on the academic and teaching side. So we do hope that SPASHT will carry that flag and move forward in the years ahead. Once again, my congratulations to all of the young minds here. Dr. Vishal Marwa has been the main driving force for SPASHT. We want to see it really becoming a global force for change. Thank you all very much.
Sir, as a pioneer in telemedicine, we are happy that we have made you proud. Today, we are pleased to inform you that we have a highly respected and honorable chief guest, Surgeon Rear Admiral Aarti Sarin. She's an alumnus of Timpani School, Visakhapatnam, and graduated from the Armed Forces College, Pune. With degrees in radiology, radio-oncology, she has also trained in gamma knife surgery in the USA. Along with a distinguished naval career all over India, she also serves as an academic examiner while actively partaking in research studies. She has taken over as Command Medical Officer of the Southern Naval Command, Kochi, in the rank of Surgeon Rear Admiral. Ma'am, I'd like to extend a warm welcome, and I'd also like to thank you on behalf of all of us for your service to our country, especially in fighting during these unpredictable circumstances. Ma'am, I'd also like you to request you to speak a few words for us.
Good morning to all of you. Dr. Prem Nair, Medical Director, Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences, Dr. Vishal Marwa, Principal, Amrita School of Medicine, Dr. Pillai, Head of Department of Medicine, Dr. Jacob, Head of Department Surgery, organizing secretaries, and dear friends. At the very outset, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to be a part of SPASH 2020. It is an honor and a privilege to be here with all of you today. As I was going through the program for SPASH 2020, I was delighted to note that the organizers have structured the agenda on a palette of topics that seem so relevant in this day, as alluded to earlier by Dr. Nair. What caught my eye first was the panel on the importance of leadership. True, medical leadership is paramount towards quality healthcare delivery in a nation. We have a standing example of this right here at home with all of you. Yes, Amrita Institute has always been ahead of its time, a leader and a forerunner in the provision of state-of-the-art medical care as early as 1990, just as I was leaving Kochi on posting to Mumbai. And I think I missed out a lot because of that. This, I believe, was the end product of the amalgamation of professional excellence with visionary and capable leadership in the field of medicine, so early in its time. This formula was, is, and will remain the cornerstone of the delivery of optimal healthcare worldwide. Healthcare organizations represent a system of processes, people, and resources that need effective leadership towards a desired outcome. Leadership is a process, it's not a physical property. Good leaders are not born with it. They develop through a process of self-study, education, training, and experience. Leaders have a vision for a desired goal. Leaders foster innovation and change for the better. Leaders contribute to effective team building and a positive work culture. In the healthcare industry, physicians are normally expected to take on the role of a leader. Physicians are also natural problem solvers and can take on this role towards improving healthcare delivery in their organization. But are they trained for it? No. As a student of medicine, on your graduation, you will be expected to take on a vital role in healthcare team that you join. Apart from managing patients clinically, one will have to manage delivery of medical services, and somewhere along this line, you will graduate from a caregiver to a manager and then to a leader. Vis-a-vis other professions, physicians actually begin managing and directing teams rather early in their careers. In posts like junior residents, senior residents, and these phases, though they're not formally trained for this, and the span of leadership and responsibility grows, so on and so forth with time. Today's doctor needs to be a clinician, an academician, a technical expert, a manager, a financial wizard, a CEO, a counselor, a mentor, etc., etc. Is he or she prepared for this? The answer is no. Our training programs remain skewed towards academic and technical excellence. There is no formal avenue for students to learn fundamental leadership skills. They need to be taught the general concepts of leadership towards team building, motivation, decision-making, and problem solving. Students need to understand in this day and age the business of healthcare organization, both in the government and the private sector, with an overview of the political, social, economic, and techno drivers involved in this process. The concepts of health insurance and costing may also be introduced to them. If such leadership programs are included in the undergraduate and postgraduate curricula, they will prove to be highly beneficial to the student, empowering him with enhanced self-awareness and self-confidence, with the ability to be a successful team leader, positively impacting healthcare in the future. Colonel Marwa seems to have already introduced the above attributes in many of his students non-formally, I can see, after listening to Shrikant's address this morning. How do we do this in the armed forces? The armed forces healthcare delivery systems encompass a spectrum of teams with varied deployments and tasks. This may be at the border, maybe at a peripheral hospital, at a tertiary care hospital, on a ship, a submarine, or an airbase. They are subjected to various tasks involving evacuation of casualties, handling logistics, tactical situations, mobilizations, combat medical support, and care of casualties. In short, we have to be soldiers, sailors, airmen, doctors, paramedics, all rolled into one. Our basic training ensures that each health worker at his post has to be a leader to set a direction for his men and influence them to follow him or her in many different situations, namely soldiering in an attack or defense, administration, assisting public health during the COVID-19 pandemic that's going on at the moment, diplomacy during peacekeeping UN missions, providing security as first responders in disasters, etc., etc. So how do we do this? The armed forces, apart from imparting professional training, regularly reinforces leadership skills with relevant refresher courses in the span of a doctor and a paramedic's career. This is usually well timed with academic advancements and promotions. For doctors, we do a medical officer's basic course after internship that trains us to join our first units or ships. We then have a refresher course after post-graduation, and then one course prior to every promotion. I believe that this practice should be the way forward for all members of healthcare teams nationwide to be exposed to leadership training on a regular basis. Today's panel, the journey and challenges faced in your professional career and how you overcame them, is an interesting topic too. To draw a parallel, let me share with you some excerpts of my journey in the armed forces. As has been just discussed, I graduated from the Armed Forces Medical College in 1985, completed my internship at INHS Ashwini, Mumbai, and after my medical officer's basic course, was posted to a unit in Visakhapatnam, where one learned how to handle cases independently, along with providing medical cover to flying operations. My husband, also a serving naval officer, was constantly deployed in the Sri Lanka ops. We were both posted to the Andaman Islands, where I remained extremely busy, being the only lady medical officer in station. The challenges faced there were those of being placed at remote locations and the lack of modern medical facilities and Medicare in the 80s. Now, of course, not the case. Irregular supply chain management and dependency on the evacuation of casualties on weather were challenges in those days. We overcame them partially by the armed forces marrying up with the Director of Health Services and the placement of 10 armed forces medical specialists in the local government hospital, which did improve the situation for us then. I then did my post-graduation in radiology, and my husband became a surgeon. We did several postings all over the country, and I was also deployed in Jammu and Kashmir, where we reached out to the local population with medical aid. The challenges again here for the weather and evacuations again dictated by snowfall. I went on to complete my DNB in radiation oncology from the Tata Hospital and was trained in gamma knife therapy in the US. At Command Hospital Pune, I headed a 110-bedded oncology center with the challenge of shifting the whole center to a new location and resetting it up. I then went on to become the medical superintendent of the 840-bedded flagship hospital of the Indian Navy, INHS Ashwini at Mumbai. Thereafter, I was appointed as a principal medical officer of the Naval Dockyard, Bombay, where I had to oversee the healthcare of 10,000 industrial civil employees, including a 70-bedded hospital. The challenges were those of HR management in this case, dealing with trade unions and setting up of MOAs and MOUs with private hospitals in Mumbai for them. And now I have now become the Command Medical Officer of the Southern Naval Command, which is a training command. So ladies and gentlemen, in the previous few minutes, I have attempted to condense the 34-year span of my professional career as a doctor and a medical officer in the armed forces. I am sure challenges there were many along the way, but one did not perceive them as challenges. This is because the armed forces ensure training for the job at hand on most deployments. It also provides constant backup and guidance whenever asked for. This is facilitated by a structural hierarchy in rank, able leadership, and the use of communication as a major tool in man management to assist a junior colleague facing a challenge wherever. However, small the task, there is a communication down the channel, a briefing of the staff on the do's and don'ts on a new job at hand. There is always appreciation and a shabashi expressed down to the juniors when the job is done. Further, we have robust systems in place to keep up the morale and welfare of the men, as well as stress managed protocols. We stress upon physical fitness, follow standard operating procedures, have constant drills and exercises in order to be ready for the challenge of combat at short notice. The Armed Forces Medical Services provides options for doctors post MBBS, namely as short service commission officers and permanent commission officers. Both categories are eligible for post-graduation through the armed forces. Study leave is granted for medical officers qualifying for super specialization. There is also an option for doctors to be commissioned after their post-graduation in civil. The Armed Forces Medical Services provides doctors the unique opportunity of serving in the Army, Navy, and the Air Force, allowing for a change of uniform as required by the service. This also allows for inter-service postings in all service hospitals all over the country. Apart from the comprehensive academic opportunities available, one gains a lifetime experience as an officer, a manager of men and material, and the art of multitasking. The postings allow you the experience of exotic locations, opportunities within and outside the country. The Navy gives you an opportunity to visit many foreign ports during their deployments. Sports, adventure, and trekking activities are constantly encouraged. We are proud of the fact that Surgeon Commander Vaikin Bhanu, a surgeon from the Indian Navy, along with Petty Officer Medical Vikas, summited Mount Everest early in 2000. This was followed by Lieutenant Colonel Lin Yu, a lady medical officer who also achieved the same feat. To summarize, the Indian Armed Forces attempts to train their officers and men to face a multitude of challenges. The present one, as alluded to by all my earlier speakers, is the COVID-19 pandemic, which is presently plaguing us, particularly in the state of Kerala. The healthcare sector in India was in the process of witnessing a growth with government leaderships and corporate investments, both in coverage as well as equity. The healthcare system is now grappling with several challenges exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time in history, a health crisis has affected the entire global economy again, reiterating the importance of good leadership in healthcare. Every healthcare system in the country has risen to the occasion and delivered the best that they could. The challenges for the future in this remain the physical and mental exhaustion of the workforce and the large backlog of pending healthcare procedures that the hospitals have to cope with at a later date. As students of medicine, we always stay abreast of recent advances in our fields. Your august institution, Amrita, has always been the forerunner in this department. You have it all in your hospital at your disposal, an excellent faculty and technical expertise, the latest investigative modalities, robotic surgery, state-of-art oncology services, and continuing medical education programs such as SPASHT. Amrita Institute, as Dr. Nair earlier alluded to, has a very robust and advanced healthcare management system with telemedicine already installed, and is now, I am sure, tipped towards leveraging artificial intelligence towards digital transformation, personalized treatment, medical error avoidance, robotic assisted surgery, and electronic health record monitoring. The role of telemedicine is now here to stay and must be utilized optimally and judiciously. With such a fantastic training ground, I am confident that each and every student here will emerge with flying colors, all fit to take on the challenges of modern Medicare. In all of this, one must never forget the importance of primary prevention, public health awareness, good bedside manners, and comprehensive history taking in clinical medicine. To conclude, remember, it's all about working in a team. Appreciate, bond, and communicate with all your team members. Engage in a physical fitness routine regularly. Be combat ready, stay fit, stay safe, My congratulations to the organizers and wishing Spasht 2020 the very best for a clear and precise deliberations towards the best for healthcare in 2020. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Surgeon Rear Admiral Aarti Ma'am has also been vital in spearheading the Southern Naval Command's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic by overseeing the designing and developing of innovative solutions and setting up quarantine facilities in Southern Naval Command, Kochi. Thank you, ma'am, for your bravery and intellect. The next person to address us today is Dr. M. Gopalakrishnan Pillai, sir. He is a graduate of the Alapi Medical College and he worked in Trivandrum till he joined Amrita in 2002. He rose through the ranks as assistant professor, associate professor, and finally professor and then HOD of general medicine here at AIIMS Kochi. He is a highly efficient teacher who has cut out a space for himself in the field of general medicine. Personally, we consider him as a beacon of light during our final MBBS years. Sir, I'd like to welcome you to address us today.
Thank you. Om Amriteshwari Namaha. So, first of all, let me thank all the organizers for giving me a chance to participate in this meeting. Actually, from the beginning onwards, this National Students event was done with full support from the administration, and also it was very clear that it brought out the abilities of the youngsters, like leadership quality and so many other features. And I have noticed that from the beginning onwards, our principal and director was giving full support to the students. This led to first and second meeting with the full form, in that we were able to complete it in a successful manner. But this time I was also thinking what we are going to do. But few days before only, they came with an invitation and told, sir, we are going to have this meeting, third one. Really, I was surprised because that indicates there is a leadership who will take decisions and it will be converted into action. This is what is very important in life. Many a times we take decisions, but actions may not happen. So this type of leadership will help the youngsters to come out in powers. I'm very happy to note that. And also, they have got the right understanding about the problems and there is a clarity of thinking. With all these features only, we were able to conduct this program. And I'm very happy to see the young leaders led by Anuja and Srikanth getting that confidence. I think you represent other members emerging with confidence, and that too from the Amrita family. It will help you to coordinate the events in full colors, and also you will be able to motivate others. This leadership quality is very important for doctors, because you see, unfortunately, so many doctors are committing suicides nowadays. Why it is happening? Because we lose confidence. From Amrita institution, the chancellor is actually giving a lot of strength to our mind. Swamiji's speech was actually motivating. So many occasions we have got our own programs to strengthen our mind so that you can come out with full strength, not physical strength. So whenever we come across with a problem, you will be able to face it in the proper manner so that you won't go into the weaker side of human mind. I think this type of programs will improve all this. And whenever we conduct a program, The most important thing I noted is there is an accountability from the leaders. All of us will support, especially the principal and the medical director, ready to be accountable for the programs. That means whatever they do, if at all there is a mistake, it will be taken by them. Means they will be there to neutralize it and support. This gives you more confidence. And also, we will be, or you will get all the empowerment from such leaders. So I hope this program will be a grand success. So I congratulate each one behind this for conducting this program, also inviting all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those wise words. Our next speaker is an extremely popular faculty, Dr. Pradeep Jacob, sir. A graduate of the Kottayam Government Medical College, he has been working at Amrita since 2002. He's an extremely passionate teacher who has many national and international publications in the field of thyroid surgery. He has done very well for himself in academics and research. He is also the coordinator for the Internal Quality Assurance Cell for Amrita School of Medicine. From learning to suture during your posting, sir, and learning our names instantly, you inspire us each day. Dr. Pradeep Jacob, sir, if you could please address us today.
Oh, warm good morning to all. Our beloved Swamiji set the tone for the day by sending across his recorded message, giving us the all the spiritual guidance that we need in these trying times. Our chief guest, Surgeon Rear Admiral Aarti Saran, very clearly detailed the chain of command in the armed forces, how young medical minds are trained to take up leadership roles. Our beloved principal, Dr. Colonel Vishal Marwa, has been the guiding force of this institution for the last many years. He's a leader who comes down and works with his men, the faculty as well as the students. Our medical director, Dr. Prem, has shown us how in such a short time a medical school, a tertiary care center of this magnitude has come up the ranks. The students of Amrita, especially the 2017 batch, the organizers of Spasht, they've overcome a lot of resistance. They've come out with a lot of innovation to carry out this third edition of Spasht. A very warm good morning to all of you. I understand that registrations for the program are almost reaching 1,000. Astounding. Not just from India, all across India, but delegates from outside India as well. I regret having been born in the 70s, doing my MBBS in the early 90s. We did not have opportunities like this. If I recollect, the first conference I attended was after I joined for my post-graduation. I did win the best paper at that conference, but we were all new to presenting before an audience, interacting with peers. We had very limited exposure outside the four walls of our classroom. We were confined to the leaves of our textbooks, Cunningham's, Ganong, Guyton, Harrison's, Bailey and Love. We did not have a platform to interact with fellow students outside the state, to share our ideas, to learn new techniques, participate in workshops. You are very lucky and privileged to have this wonderful exposure. Please make good use of it to shape your future career. You're going to be listening to a lot of eminent speakers from various walks of life. The Sparsh program has been a roaring success in its first two editions. But then we were able to host you in our campus here. We were able to interact with you. We were able to conduct workshops and get your hands dirty, right? Learn on the suture board, surgical workshops, orthopedic workshops. We may not be able to get your hands dirty, but we will definitely make sure that you go enriched. And as I learned from the program, it's not just academic feast. There are a lot of extracurricular and co-curricular activities as well that is needed to. It's been a very difficult 6 months with the COVID-19 pandemic. So I'm sure you will all go back feeling refreshed. I've no doubt that the organizers have laid out a feast this year in spite of the COVID-19 playing spoil sport. I wish you all have a wonderful learning experience over the next few weeks. Please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Today, we kickstart Sparsh 2020. None of this would have been possible if not for the driving forces of our chief guest, our esteemed speakers, right faculty, delegates, and the undergraduates here at AIIMS Kochi. To express our gratitude, I'd like to call Anuja, who's an alumnus of the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in Thrissur. Though Anuja is not physically present, she has been a vital leader in guiding all of us with patience and kindness. I'd like to welcome our organizing secretary, Ms. Anuja Jain, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Om Amriteshwari Nama. Humble pranams to lotus feet of Amma. Honorable Chief Guest, respected Medical Director, Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences, respected Principal, distinguished dignitaries, and my dear friends. On behalf of Amrita Institute of Medical Science, its entire fraternity and organizing committee of Sparsh 2020, I feel immense pleasure to take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to Surgeon Rear Admiral R.T. Saran, Command Medical Officer, Southern Naval Command Kochi, who has spared a precious time for us and graced this occasion with her presence. Ma'am, your inspirational speech regarding the leadership in the field of medicine and how the armed force has trained you to overcome the challenges has been an eye-opener for beginners like us. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your experience with us. It's a great pleasure for us to have you with us. General Secretary of Amritanandamai, who has given a thought-provoking message, wishes, and blessings, thus enlightening the event. I would further extend hearty thanks to Dr. Prem Nair, sir, Medical Director in Kochi, for emphasizing the importance of medicine in the present scenario of COVID-19 pandemic. I take this opportunity to express my deep regards and gratitude to Dr. M.G.K. Pillai, sir, Head of Department of Internal Medicine, and Dr. Pradeep Jacob, sir, Head of Department of General Surgery, for your participation and wishes. And surely promise we make sure of this privilege that we got. I thank the backbone of the Dr. Vishal Marwah, sir, our beloved principal, for his unfaltering support and confidence in us. Thank you for always encouraging us and also providing opportunity to organize such events even during this period of pandemic. Behind every successful program lies the manifold attempts of our committed faculties. I would like to take this moment to acknowledge the immense contribution of our dedicated employees and other faculties. A warm thanks to the principal of the secretaries, Nithya ma'am, Prasida ma'am, Jayalakshmi ma'am, Chandlega ma'am, Prasida ma'am, Jani ma'am, Sunanda ma'am, Gurarappan sir, and all others for their exceptional help, without which the program would not be a success. I would like to specially thank Dr. George Matthew Jacob for his immense support and help for the event. Warm thanks to Mr. Pavitra, Mr. Amal, Mr. Ajit from IT department, and Dr. Keshav Kuti from Finance for their coordination. On behalf of the organizing committee, I thank CB, Anagha Gopalakrishnan, Rahul Radhakrishnan, Vaishak Murugan, and entire 2016 batch for their guidance and constant support. Also 2018 and 2019 batch for their enthusiastic effort to bring the event to a grand success. Last but surely not the least, my own batch 2017 for making this event happening after overcoming a lot of obstacles. My deep sense of appreciation and thanks to those of all who came live during this event and made this event into a grand success. Once again, I thank all of you for joining and enlightening the event. Thank you.
A sincere thank you to everyone who tuned in to watch the live opening ceremony of Spasht 2020. Do continue to support us in the upcoming workshops, academic, non-academic events, and the webinars. Once again, thank you to everyone who helped us make this conference see the light of day.